Hunter even sleeps with Jazz and keeps an eye on a caretaker feeding Jazz. Now, 2 weeks later, it's hoped Jazz will soon be well enough to leave the center and return home.
And finally, felines are freaking out about a new social media filter sweeping China. The new online craze has cat owners using a feline filter on the phone while holding their cats. The kittens are doing double take and checks to make sure. Lola and Louie hope there is not a version of this in the works.
And that's this week's edition of the News Hounds Now Update.
All I want to do is go to YouTube and watch videos of that. That is hysterical.
That is hysterical. Thanks for helping out today.
Absolutely.
Have a great weekend, everybody. Hope to see you back here on Monday. News 3 Now at 5 starts right now.
And right now at 5, 2 local football teams vying for gold. We are live from Camp Randall with the last-second drama.
Plus, Madison police are continuing to look for a suspect after a woman reported a man was threatening her with a gun.
Plus, a popular observation tower in southwestern Wisconsin could be coming down. We will tell you why.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 5.
Well, thanks for staying with News 3 Now. 2 area communities saw their games go down to the wire, battling for state championships in football at Camp Randall.
And for both DeForest in Division 3 and their rival Waunakee, these finishes were not for the faint of heart. Melissa Kim is live from Camp Randall recapping the results for us tonight. Melissa?
You know, you guys, wow, I had multiple heart palpitations all throughout all of these games. This was definitely some exciting high school football to watch. And for DeForest, it was the last game of Mike Minnitt's career. That's their head coach. He's been there for 19 years. You couldn't ask for a better way to go out, right? And this is why coaches always tell players, you have to play. You have to give your all until the very final seconds. Because DeForest, they didn't score any points at all until there was under a minute left in the game. Quarterback Trey Schrader, he was phenomenal in the fourth quarter. Led the team down the field, throwing the ball for first downs, and then finally getting the ball to Gabe Finley, who dragged a couple guys, Menasha guys, and pushed his way into the end zone for the touchdown. And then the Norskies going for 2, using a play that Schrader told us afterwards that he and Nolan Hawk have practiced hundreds of times. The Tim Tebow, they called it, to win the game 8-6 for the D3 state title and bring that gold ball back to DeForest for the first time since 1982, something these guys have made their goal since the 4th grade.
We've had a lot of work to come to this point. We've done a lot of things. We've been working every single day, ever since the offseason, every single day of the offseason. We've just been dreaming about this, and it's reality now. We can celebrate now.
I mean, it means a lot, obviously. Either way, you know, first or second, you know, we love our kids, and we're super proud of them.
Now the Division II game between Waunakee and Brookfield East, just as exciting, coming down to the wire. The Warriors were down by double digits, but clawed their way back in the 4th quarter. But this one, not a storybook ending for Waunakee. They scored a touchdown, but missed the extra point, and that was the difference in the game. The Warriors losing the Division II title game, but head coach Pat Rice said, look, you have to look at the big picture here. The team went down to their 3rd string quarterback during the playoff, and at times, they still overcame adversity to get to this point.
To step back and just lost the championship by a point. But the fact that they stayed together and they did things the right way and they worked their tails off it, it's easy for me to kind of still paint this as a pretty rosy picture. The kids did some good stuff. They did all these, like I said before, I'm proud of them.
And, you know, that wraps up the high school football season for us this year, for this area at least. And we got 2 out of 3 gold balls, guys. So you got to look at the bright picture, like head coach Pat Rice said there. Look at the big picture. Our teams did pretty well this season.
Yeah, what a heartbreaker for Waunakee, but boy, DeForest, great way to go out.
I know.
For Coach. I know they're partying right now in DeForest.
Yeah, we'll have more on that celebration coming up at 6. All right, Melissa, reporting live from Camp Randall. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Melissa. There is some breaking news just into the Channel 3000 Alert Center. Madison police are looking for this young man, 13-year-old Kente Strong, last seen around the 2000 block of Londonderry Drive. His parents say he he has special needs. Anyone with information about his whereabouts is asked to call the Madison Police Department. There is more information available on our website, channel3000.com. A clear and seasonable day. We could see some wintry weather before Thanksgiving. Let's get the first alert forecast now with our meteorologist, Chris Reese. Chris?
Yeah, that's right. We do have the clear skies out there right now. I think a lot of folks woke up this morning. It was a little cloudy. Maybe we got a little nervous, but the sun did indeed come out. That warmed us up towards 33. Typically our high around this time of the year is 40. Speaking of 33, that is where our temperature was just moments ago. But with the sun setting, we have begun to drop. We are now at 30 here in Madison. More 20s do show up as well. 29 in the Dells, same for Watertown and Juneau. Will continue to get colder as we head through the evening. Look for that overnight low right around the mid-20s. Then we do turn that attention to early next week with the winter storm threat that may have impacts to Thanksgiving travel. I'll tell you what's on the table along with what we do and don't know in a few minutes.
All right, Chris, thank you so much. New at 5, the Sheriff's Office of Caldwell County, Missouri has confirmed they have recovered the remains of the brothers who disappeared while visiting a farm in that state earlier this year. Nicholas Demel's remains were recovered, that is, from a farm in Missouri. The remains of his brother Justin Demel were found in a livestock trailer sold to a rancher in Lincoln County, Nebraska. Nick and Justin Demel disappeared during a business trip to Missouri in July. Those brothers owned Demel Livestock and did business with Garland Nelson. That is the man who is now charged with killing the brothers. Police are still searching for a suspect after a man reportedly threatened a woman with a gun outside their home this morning.
And police and SWAT barricaded and searched an apartment building on East Wilson Street. Gabriella Becerra joins us now. She has more information. Gabby?
Police say that they received a report this morning just before 9 that a man had threatened a woman in a car with a gun while their child was in the back seat. He reportedly ran into the apartment while armed. Officials say there was time between the report and when officers arrived that it is possible the person could have left the building. Police and SWAT barricaded the surrounding area and evacuated some residents. Officials called for the suspect to exit the apartment into the hallway with his hands empty and in the air, and they used a robot to ensure the area was clear.
But several hours later, we had a robot go into the apartment, followed by officers. It was determined he was not in the apartment. So at this point, he's still at large, and we do have probable cause to arrest him for second-degree reckless endangering safety.
Officials are unsure how the suspect left the building, and the scene was cleared just before 1 p.m. The victim and child were not harmed. At this time, officials don't believe the suspect is a threat to the community. Patrol officers have been made aware of the suspect and know that he can be arrested on probable cause.
Gabby, thank you. Earlier this morning, the SWAT team joined Madison police officers to execute a search warrant near the location of 2 shots fired incidents from earlier this week. Police say they searched a house on Coolidge Street off of Packers Avenue after 2 shots fired incidents from Wednesday night. Now, during that second incident, a woman was grazed by a stray bullet while in her bedroom. A police report says 10 people were detained. 3 were arrested, including 21-year-old Deshaun Winslow, 21-year-old Markel Young, and 22-year-old Christian Justice. Officers say they found a gun and drugs inside that home that they searched. Police also say they had to shoot and kill an aggressive dog during the investigation.
Testimony continues as a Verona woman asked for a new trial after her conviction connected to the 2007 death of a baby boy.
In court today, we heard from Jennifer Hancock's defense attorney from a decade ago. Rose Schmidt explains how he feels about his performance in the original trial. Rose?
Yes, in Jennifer Hancock's motion requesting a new trial, she says her defense attorney's case was far less robust than the state's, and his failure to challenge the state's arguments on how the baby died helped lead to her conviction.
Could you describe essentially
In Dane County Court Friday, John Hyland, the former defense attorney for Jennifer Hancock, took the stand, recounting his work on her trial 10 years ago.
We sought search warrants, we sought information, tried to speak with the prosecutors, and a good deal of work on a CHIPS side.
Hancock is serving 13 years in prison for the death of 4-month-old Lincoln Wilbur in 2007. As she seeks a new trial, the prosecution argues that Hyland, now a Dane County judge, defended Hancock's case to the best of his abilities in 2009. But Hyland testified that he misjudged the prosecution's argument back then, believing they would argue the baby died from shaken baby syndrome.
At the time of the hearing, you had read some of the relevant medical literature.
That is correct.
But at the time of the hearing, did you still believe that the state's theory would primarily be based on shaking?
Yes.
Hyland says by the time he realized that the state was arguing baby Lincoln died from abuse, it was too late to find a new medical expert to testify. One doctor told Hyland he would make a better witness for the other side.
You were scrambling.
Yes.
That was the scramble. That report from Nichols wasn't going to be helpful at all.
That's correct.
As Judge Daniel Dillon must decide whether to grant Hancock a new trial, two doctors have now testified this week that they can't say abuse was the cause of Lincoln's death.
It is my opinion that there is no evidence that the child suffered from a physical trauma that resulted in his death.
Two more hearings are scheduled for December 19th and 20th, and then the judge will decide whether to grant Hancock a new trial in this case.
Very interesting. We'll keep track of it. Thank you, Rose. A Madison man is in custody tonight after running away from officers, leaving a loaded gun and meth in the car he was driving. According to McFarland police, officers stopped a car in the area of Sigwilcow Road and Valley Drive shortly after 1 a.m. for an equipment violation. The driver then ran off, but a canine was able to track and locate him at a home in the 5100 block of Unity Way in Madison. That 24-year-old man faces tentative charges for being a felon in possession of a firearm, carrying a concealed weapon, resisting an officer, and violating his parole. A 34-year-old passenger was arrested for possessing methamphetamines. The future of the Belmont Tower is in question tonight.
After 50 years in its spot atop Belmont Mound, the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources might tear it down. Amy Reed joins us now to explain why. Amy?
The tower is a staple of the Belmont area. From the top, you can see into Illinois and Iowa, but you'll have to take our word for it. The access to the top has been blocked off for years, and that's for a number of reasons. One, there has been multiple suicides there. People also will trespass and leave the area a mess. The Lions Club, which manages the park, has had to repair the damage left behind by those people.
A lot of the members knew about the damage up there because there were people that would take their TV sets up there and throw them over the side, and then the Lion Club would have to clean the mess up, you know.
The Lions Club voted unanimously last month to have the DNR deconstruct the tower. The DNR said they haven't made a decision, but they're leaning in that direction. They don't have a timeline for when they'll decide or ultimately take the tower down.
Amy Reed reporting. Amy, thank you.
We know a lot of you are heading out for the start of the gun deer hunt this weekend. The 9-day season starts tomorrow, and state wardens as well as local law enforcement want you to keep some safety measures in mind. Treat every firearm as if it's loaded. Always point the muzzle in a safe direction. Make sure you know what your target is and what's beyond it, and keep that finger off the trigger until you're ready to shoot. Also, remember that your rifle scope should never be used as binoculars. These may seem like common sense reminders, but about a third of all hunting incidents are actually self-inflicted injuries.
More to come on News 3 Now at 5 up next. It is the giving season, how you can help fill Thanksgiving baskets at the Goodman Center.
And then coming up at 6, for the first year ever, instant replay is available at the football state championship games. We'll tell you how it's impacting the game tonight at 6.
And the markets close the week. The Dow up 109 points. The Nasdaq adds 14 while the S&P 500 jumps 7. And we'll be right back.
A Madison organization is helping more families than ever put a Thanksgiving feast on the table.
That's right. The Goodman Community Center preparing to serve them all, but they still need your help. And Amanda Quintana is live with how you can help your neighbors this holiday season. Amanda?
4,000 families. That's how many families are going to have a Thanksgiving meal because of all the work that's being done here tonight. I'm here with Sam McDaniel, dressed for the occasion, of course, every year.
Every year.
Tell me a little bit about what led to this many people, this many families registering.
Well, we see the demand go up through our food pantry each year. It's been, in my 3 years, pretty much 25% each year increase. And with our registration process, we've made some advances there that allow us to get to more people and get more people the information. We worked really closely this year with the Madison School District, the social workers in each school. We got them the registration early. We allowed them to register people online, and it really helps a lot. It's probably about half our registrations come through the school system, and that's where we are the closest touch to the families that are in need, and that connects them with Goodman, which makes all this work a whole lot better. And when we did that, the numbers went up, which is good in this case. You know, it's more people getting the food they need.
So, of course, more donations needed because more people. How can people help? What are the things you need?
Yeah, I mean, we are really doing well on turkeys this year. It's really the other things that are a little bit lacking right now. The non-perishable items like mac and cheese, gravy, stuffing, cranberry sauce, broth, and all the other stuff on our grocery list. Because getting to 4,000 or 8,000 items there, it takes a lot of people coming together. Financial donations also really help a lot. We have people waiting in the wings to go shopping this weekend if we need it, and if people make financial donations, we'll be able to do so and get 4,000 or more people.
All right, and those donations accepted through Monday. Bags are given out tomorrow morning through Monday.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you so much. We'll send it back to you guys.
All right, Amanda Quintana at the Goodman Center. Amanda, thank you.
Next time she's wearing the turkey costume. We are a week out from the big box store shopping holiday of the year, but family-owned businesses are reminding us to consider shopping local. Next Saturday will mark 10 years of Small Business Saturday. Today, Congressman Mark Pocan, County Executive Joe Parisi, and others join the owners of Don's Home Furniture to celebrate just that. Pocan, who owns a printing business here in Madison, emphasized when you buy local, that money stays local.
The money you spend at a local business is going to support those local employees. They're likely to use local vendors in their supply chain, so that means they're going to have local advertising agencies. They're going to buy their supplies locally. They're going to make their donations to local nonprofits.
Mom and pop shops want us to keep them in mind on other well-known shopping days as well, like Cyber Monday and Giving Tuesday, along with Black Friday. The group Dayton Buy Local is also launching a new Shop Indie Local campaign, which will run through December 31st. It's meant to encourage consumers to shop at small businesses throughout the entire holiday season.
All right, meteorologist Chris Reese joining us. Everybody's ready for the weekend, but also what's ahead of the weekend, Chris, because a lot of folks traveling next week.
Yeah, we're going to be watching that one closely. I'll tell you what, in the short term, your weekend is going to be fairly nice. Clear and seasonable tonight, dry and mild for the weekend, but we do have a winter storm threat Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. We are watching that very closely, but I do want to start with what's out there right now. Of course, things are all dry for us across high-resolution Doppler. This means we are seeing clear skies pretty much no matter where you are. Sun Prairie, clear skies. Same for our friends over in Cross Plains. You go down towards Fitchburg. All of us will have the clear skies, and it's the same story for our friends down in Rock County. Janesville is going to be clear as we head through tonight. Same for Beloit and Evansville. This is the view that we see outside right now. That sun now dropping down below the horizon, that glow of orange in the last sliver of sunlight that we do have. But as the sun sets, those temperatures begin to drop as well. We're at 30 right now, and folks, we are going down into the 20s overnight tonight. And we already see some of those 20s just back towards the north and west. 28 for the Dells, Camp Douglas at 27 right now. Just a smidge warmer. Janesville at 32. But let's put this into motion. Let's show you how things play out. We head into the evening, and here we are tomorrow morning, waking up at 6 o'clock. That's where those temperatures are going to be right around 24 degrees. Some folks may even be a couple degrees colder. Now, we get towards lunchtime tomorrow. We start to warm things up. We're already at 38. I do think we'll have a chance to see those temperatures into the low 40s by the time we get you towards tomorrow afternoon. Let's push into Sunday now. Those temperatures begin to drop again, but we won't be as cold. 6 o'clock Sunday morning, I do think our temperatures are going to be right around 29 towards 30 degrees. Then by the time we get you into Sunday afternoon, check it out, 46. We will get close to that 50-degree mark. So if you want to get outdoors and put up those decorations, folks, I encourage you to maybe do it before Thanksgiving this year, because this weekend is going to be absolutely fantastic to do so. But by the time we get you towards next week, that's where things get just a little bit hairy. Here's the setup I think we're going to have by the time we get you towards Monday evening. We'll have a stationary front just towards the south and east of Wisconsin. High pressure back over the Rockies. This is going to usher in that colder air out of Canada. At the same time, a new area of low pressure is going to be born across the Texas Panhandle. That's going to begin to work its way towards the Great Lakes. As it does so, we begin to see the moisture on the increase. So Tuesday, 3 o'clock, pay attention to what starts to arrive from the south by 6 o'clock on Tuesday. It's possible that a lot of the area could be in snow. That includes a lot of the travel routes that you do have throughout the state of Wisconsin, and that will likely linger into Tuesday night and even your Wednesday morning. And while we still have a lot of questions to answer, it doesn't matter where you are across the upper Midwest. That system will likely impact you. We still don't know the exact path of the storm, which means we don't know if it's going to be rain or snow or how it's going to impact southern Wisconsin. But we do know a storm is moving in Tuesday that's going to be very fast, and that will likely impact your travel. Once we get beyond Tuesday and Wednesday, we could see another mix Thursday night and Friday, along with more clouds and chances for flurries and drizzle as we head into Saturday, Sunday, and Monday of next week. So this forecast is certainly just a little bit unsettled. We're watching the traffic, though, for folks that are getting ready to head home. This is the Beltline at Todd Drive. So far, things are moving, but we are definitely slow on this Friday. A lot of those Beltline speeds anyway, anywhere from about 12 to 15 miles per hour. Still seeing some of those brake lights downtown as well, coming away from campus, especially right around Park Street and Fish Hatchery. And then as you head westbound on University and Regent, drive safely, folks. We want to see you here as we go through the days ahead.
All right, Chris, thank you. Ahead on News 3 Now at 5, the president hedging his bets on impeachment, what his predictions are, plus what's next in the inquiry. Stay with us. On Capitol Hill, members of the House Intelligence Committee are now in the process of drafting a report on recent impeachment hearings so the Judiciary Committee can decide whether to move forward with the process. Meanwhile, the president calling this week's hearing a hoax. In an interview with Fox and Friends, he predicted he will not be impeached by the House and said he's ready for a trial in the Senate. The president also wants the anonymous whistleblower to testify.
I consider it to be a fake whistleblower because what he wrote didn't correspond to what I said.
The Republican chair of the Senate Judiciary Committee, Lindsey Graham, has requested documents from the State Department regarding former Vice President Joe Biden's contacts with Ukrainian officials. The impeachment inquiry stems from accusations the president withheld aid to Ukraine until leaders open an investigation into the Bidens.
The White House continues to consider a ban on some e-cigarettes, something more than a quarter of high school students across the U.S. admit to using. President Trump hosted public health officials as well as industry reps today to talk about the epidemic. In Canada, doctors say there's a new type of vaping-related lung injury known as popcorn worker's lung, which is causing even more alarm in the medical community. Still, the president is hesitating to ban certain products entirely.
There is not just one type of disease you can get from e-cigarettes.
If you don't give it to them, it's going to come here illegally. They're going to be selling stuff on a street corner that could be horrible.
Just yesterday, the CDC reported more than 100 new cases of vaping-related lung injuries and more than 5 deaths since last week. The agency has now identified a link between those illnesses and the chemical vitamin E acetate, which is often used as a fluid thickener, especially on the black market.
Stay with us. We'll have a final recap of your weekend weather in just a moment.
Tonight on the CBS Evening News, we're tracking a triple threat, 3 storms that could ruin holiday travel plans for tens of millions. Why was gold medal gymnast Simone Biles kept in the dark about an FBI investigation into an abusive team doctor? And how a man who called out sick ended up with 20,000 get well emails. We've got those stories and much more tonight on the CBS Evening News.
A nice weekend to look forward to.
Yeah, the weekend itself is going to be great. Temperatures in the mid-40s. We'll see some sunshine. Tonight will be mostly clear with the low of 24. But then as we look into the week ahead, we do have alert days, Tuesday and Wednesday. That is a potential winter storm that could impact travel just before Thanksgiving. We'll watch it.
And we'll have more updates in 30 minutes on News 3 Now at 6. Stay tuned now for the CBS Evening News.